I don't always listen to sports radio, but when I do, I prefer the Sports Goombahs. Stay loyal, my friends.
Hey, yo, B, I don't want that guy's voice doing our show. Put him in the bathroom. Sense. Sports Goombahs. I'm Cashy King. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B.O. over there. Mikey Walker to my left. Sports Goombahs. Coming live from the 515 studio, somewhere buried deep. Pennsylvania. Goombahs is brought to you by Castle Public Adjusters. Also brought to you by Auto Magic Car Care.
Maybe heads up next time.
Yeah, maybe heads up there. Always look to you.
Boys.
You clean the cars. Sports Goombahs. All right, guys. I'm going to get right now. Let's get out the phone numbers first. Give us a call. You want to rant and beef with us tonight? Because you ought to. Because there's a lot to talk about. A lot went on in the last 24 hours of sports and other crap around the world. 267-563-2893 is the Sports Goombahs hotline. We're live at www.sgshow.net, and we are at Twitter.
And Twitter at Sports Goombahs. You gotta give me a heads up when you're cutting to me. I'm just not even paying attention.
My man. I know the wall report's important to you.
When you talk, I cut you out. You know that. I just completely tune you out.
267-563-2893. You can call us or you can text us. If you don't like to call, text us, and Mikey will answer your text.
We're also on Periscope and Instagram.
Yeah, I whacked the Periscope. You know what it is? The Periscope. I'm beeping in on you all night long. I think the phone's ringing. I can't stop it. So
people want to watch you sleep.
That's right. Can you imagine that? Watch me sleep?
Oh God!
It's like a freight train. You don't want to watch that. That's for sure. Oh man, oh Shevitz. All right, let's get right to it. My girl got knocked the fuck out. The other way I can put it. I mean, Ronda Rousey, I shocked.
More than knocked out.
It's not even that. I felt bad for her. I watched the fight. It's like, I was embarrassed. But as I look at it, 100% unprepared.
Yes.
Unprepared. Her crew's unprepared. And that goes without saying when you are now Hollywood. Now, Ronda became Hollywood, and she's attractive. She's in movies and commercials and swimsuit poses and writing a book. A lot of that's major distractions when you're fighting. When you're in a fight, and even if you're an 18-1 favorite, still doesn't mean in MMA. All it takes is one kick, one punch, and you're out. I mean, you take too many shortcuts when you're at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to appear Jimmy Fallon. Or you got the Howard Stern show or somewhere else to go, this, that, and the other thing. And I always talk about it. B and I talked about it for years about the pro athlete and the distractions.
And that's the first thing I saw when I saw. If you look at that compared to other fights, did you see not conditioned enough?
She doesn't have to be conditioned because she's not physique conditioned like that. I know she's not physique wise. I mean, she lost her focus. That's what she did. We talked about Kaepernick a couple weeks ago about him losing his focus after he became a little Hollywood himself, and it happens. And she won something. So she can, she actually stepped out and started, the hype of what she was in the past 6 months, movies, shows, whatever, guest appearance. That she's MMA
trying to get in a whole bunch of Expendables and a couple other stuff too.
What she is the UFC. But when you lose focus and you're on top and, you're 12-0 and you're coming up against this Holly Holmes, who is what I saw, didn't know nothing about her, but until I watched her box. And this is a girl who's a professional boxer. And she didn't go down. Even when she went down and she was on top during this fight, Holly got up and started over because she didn't want to be nowhere near the ground.
Nope.
At all. And she continued to box. And what if you watch from the first round into the second, she just picked away at Ronda. Pop in the face, pop here, pop there, and she's whittled her down to nothing. So when she came out in that second round, she stumbled once, came back, and then she got hit, and she spun around and was kicked in the face. And end of story.
Yep.
Down, and she was beat. And that's
broken jaw.
Destroyed her, man. It was
not as pretty anymore.
No. But if you go to our website and you go to my article, we still kept the pretty pictures up there first.
Yeah, if you check out if you're not while you watch, maybe click on a separate window. If you go to the click on Cash's Corner, maybe right click open new window. Yeah, right. Check out Cash's Corner. We got the little before and after. Yeah. Cash gives his detail, what he thought about it, which is pretty much what he's saying now, which shockingly I don't agree with.
No, I don't agree with you, but go first. Go ahead.
I don't think it's not that she went Hollywood and lost her focus, because this isn't the first fight that she's appeared on all these things, on these platforms and all these shows before. It's not the first time. She's been doing this for the last 5 fights. She just lost a fight. She lost to somebody who was better than her on that day. Simple as that. It's not about, because you didn't say she lost her focus when she was doing Letterman and then the next night knocking out Miesha Tate.
Not good point. But what I'm saying is, when you saw the fighter that she went up against, you saw this girl was a professional boxer. And when she got in the ring with her, it didn't even look like she was prepared for a boxer. Her arms were down, her chin was up, and she was lunging at her. And you don't get a quick hitter because you want to get your head beat in. And that's the cardinal rule. And if that's the case, then where was the focus? Where was the training for a boxer on this one? Because it doesn't look like she trained with a boxer on this. Because if she did, she'd have her head tucked in and she'd have her arms up at all times. Because when you fight a boxer, you always protect your face at all times, even when you're walking away. And she never, at one moment in that fight, had her hands above her head or even around her face.
See, I think this is quite possibly the best thing that could happen for her right now. Aside from the fact that
what's the best thing that happened to the UFC right now? Because now they got 2 girls.
Now they got a rematch, definitely. And also too, look. Even the best, you look back at all the greatest fighters out there, they all lost at least once. They all had their rival.
Not Mayweather.
Well, I don't include Mayweather. But you look at it like this. They all had their arch rival that their careers were built on. Some of them had more. That's what made it great.
This was more like Tyson getting knocked out by Douglas.
Douglas. Yeah, exactly.
Because that was another.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's like with how many teams, especially with football, because that's the most realistic one of going undefeated. When you start getting to that 12, 13, you're like, okay, well, maybe we should lose a game, get our loss. You say maybe get our loss out of the way before we finish up trying to get the championship. Or obviously she already was champion, but you said you're not gonna be you're not gonna be undefeated forever, and especially in MMA, too many things can happen. It's not like boxing. Boxing, how many times in boxing do guys meet and you've never heard of them and they're 45-0? Like, it's because it is fight nobodies left and right, and that's what you do. You pad your stats. UFC, you have the biggest names fighting each other, and they're 27-4 against 31-8. Like, it's what happens. Like, you lose in MMA. You lose.
The way they look, MMA, UFC, they're all fighting to become like a huge legitimate. They're not sitting there going, you're going to fight Joe from South Philly to get a couple wins under your belt and then go. No, you get into this, you're fighting legitimate contenders on a regular basis. It's not like every 6 months.
Right, she's the biggest draw in UFC right now.
And she still will be. Yeah, and she still will be.
It's going to be. And she's going to.
Because you don't think that rematch is going to make a lot of money?
They did to her face, though. It's
Poor
killing
Ronda.
me, man. They did to her face. A beautiful face. Boom. She's like a watermelon. She dropped like a sack of potatoes laying there on the ground. I couldn't stand looking at it. I had to turn my head.
It's brutal to
It's the
watch.
worst thing I've ever seen in ages, man. My poor girl down on the ground like that. I would have jumped through the screen and help her out. Couldn't.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have done a lot.
Whatever.
I'm sure you would have been a big hand.
Yeah, I would have been a big hand. Kidding me? I would have never let her get in the ring. That's the hand I would have been. But be it as may, you're right. There's going to be a rematch. As soon as she heals up and looks good, and they can start promoting another fight again.
Apparently, she's going to take some time off. She doesn't. Yeah. You're not going to like this, but she has some movies and things.
No, you're wrong. Not that I don't like it. No, don't get me wrong. I don't like the fact that she's doing all this in the movie. That's fine with me. I mean, really, it is. The fact that when you come into a fight like this, and you're that much of an underdog, and you get blitzed like this, somebody didn't prepare somewhere. Okay,
I agree. I definitely agree.
Right.
She wasn't obviously 100% prepared.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because she was on TV shows and movies
Mike,
and calendars.
You say that though, but if you're a champion and you're devoting your life to what you do, and you got to fight, mean, those hours you spent, doing takes for movies or pre-interviews for talk shows or whatever, those are hours you can spend training. And I know when you're into professional sports, especially in the boxing and the fighting world, you got to be 100% all the time because it only takes one hit, one mistake, and you're done. And that's it in boxing. Other sports, you can get away with that because it's not a one-shot deal. But in the fight game, I've seen it. I promoted a fighter years, just kicking ass by getting one shot, and we thought he was the man coming up in MMA. And then one day, one guy we didn't know nothing about it hit him in the side of his face, and it was never right. And that was the end of his career. That's all it really takes.
Yep. One
shot of you, and especially Ronda had never gone a second round. So we don't even know if she could handle the second and third.
And that's why I brought up the conditioning thing. Yeah.
Right.
She looked a little out of breath going into round 2. She usually dominates.
And is that because she spent too much time doing other things and not running? I don't know, Mike. You say that. If you were ever a fighter.
Were you ever a fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Good Lord.
Well, I'm just saying, I trained like that. So I do know what you have to do. And when you don't.
I wouldn't compare yourself to Ronda Rousey, though.
I'm not doing it. I'm just telling you what it takes. I went for a black belt once, okay? And I trained for 6 months before I went because I wouldn't be able to do it.
And I'm pretty sure if Leno wanted you on the Tonight Show, you would have gladly accepted.
Yeah, I would have.
Of course. She did too.
But see, don't know if I would have gone to a fight like that. I don't know. You said I don't know if I'm going to $1 billion fight, and in a fight like this, I don't know if I'll accept anything but focus. Because when I did that for that situation, I focused for 6 months over and over again because I didn't want to get embarrassed by going for that kind of going for that belt and not getting it. Okay, so I made sure I got it. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning over to the gym. I had a key to the gym to get in the gym so I could ride the bike and that kind of thing. And that's what these guys do too. Don't think that the Tysons and the Alis didn't do that. You know what I mean? When they went for fights, when they went for championship fights. I mean, that's what it is. But in this day of age, you have so many outlets to give you publicity. It's not just 3, 6, and 10 anymore. It's not just Tonight Show. You got 3 Tonight shows. You got the Howard Sterns. You got ESPN.
Got Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
Everybody, us. You would come to us. I would have told her right here if she was sitting in front of us. Said, look, man, that's enough. Go home, start training. No more shows after you do ours. That's what I would have done.
Well,
I'll never ever agree with this at all.
Well, you don't have to agree.
I know. I'm just letting you know. I will never agree with the fact that you think that they're not training just because they do a show that takes an hour out of their day.
It does.
She could take an hour-long shit that takes just as long as being on the Tonight Show.
Your analogy's bad. When you do Letterman,
you'd wipe her ass, though.
When you do a show, you don't just get out of the car, go on the show. You do pre-interviews. You get dressed. You get makeup. It takes hours to do these shows. You got to travel to get them. You just don't go on Jimmy Fallon and look at her on Jimmy Fallon. She was all done up. Dressed and all, that didn't take 5 minutes. That took a half a day.
I'm aware.
Okay, well, then there you go. That's a whole day of training she didn't do. I'm just giving you for instance of what happens on these shows.
You're right, because I'm 100% aware that Holly Holm did 0 interviews the entire time that she was training. The date from the second she woke up to the time she went to bed, she didn't do one interview. She didn't go shopping. She didn't go out to dinner. She didn't do anything. All she was trained. You're right.
Your analogy's not there. She wasn't on Jimmy.
It's not
Fallon.
An analogy.
Well, whatever. Your comparison is not there. Okay, she wasn't on Fallon. She wasn't on Stern. She wasn't filming.
No, because she was a nobody.
That's right. And all she knew was to train and make sure she tried to win this fight, and she did. Okay, she did.
And the 11 girls before her that Rousey knocked out were doing the same exact things, and they still lost in 30 seconds.
Understandable. I don't know if they were 18-1 underdogs and they weren't even supposed to be in the ring with her. Because from what I hear, this wasn't even the girl she was supposed to fight. This was somebody else they put in there.
No, it's supposed to be Cyborg who she's supposed to fight.
So there you go. Even worse. That's like Tyson Douglas. You know what I mean? They threw a guy in the ring with him, and he got beat. And what Douglas and Tyson back then, what was he? He was out of his mind. He wasn't training for anybody. It's not the fact that it happens to everybody, but when something like this happens and you get beat by an 18-1 underdog, which you never see. It's so hard to see that in sports anywhere. Okay? Especially in the MMA game. Something goes wrong like this that you're not even, it's not like she beat him on a decision. He beat her on a decision, or they went.
Yeah, that would have been worse. That would have been way worse.
No, I don't know. No, I don't.
That would have been so much worse. If she got consistently beat for 3, I don't know if do women do 5 rounds. I don't know if they do 5 rounds.
They do 3 rounds.
Let's do 3 for.
Yeah. So if she got consistently beat for 3 rounds, which she probably would have because she didn't look good at all. That's way worse than getting knocked. It's 100% worse.
It's not. You're wrong. In the fight game, it's not. When you get a game where you got
it's 100.
It's not.
100% worse.
No, you're wrong. If they had two fighters who were making a fight out of it, instead of the one that the favorite getting their ass kicked from the first minute on.
Exactly. That's my point. If you got your ass kicked for 15 minutes, which would be a full fight, that's so much worse than getting knocked out cold in the middle of the second round. That means you got caught with a kick to the face and you got knocked out.
That's not what happened here. She got.
That's exactly what happened.
Absolutely not. She was picked away from the first minute.
I'm not saying she. I told you. I just said she was gonna lose anyway because she was losing the whole time. But it would have been worse if it continued for another for another round and a half. It would have been worse.
Oh, at that level of her getting beat like that? No, I'm talking about what I was saying. That they both had a good fight and it had to go to the decision because they couldn't knock each other out. It was a good fight.
I'm talking about what actually was happening. No, I'm not talking speculative.
Well, no, what I was saying. That's what I'm saying here. It would have been better for her if she would have fought the fight good. And it was two people going at it who knew what they were doing, and they went 3 rounds, and it was a great fight, and they had to make a decision instead of having the underdog kick the shit out of the favorite.
I think what it came down to, the bottom line was this. You're right. She wasn't prepared. It had nothing to do with her appearances. It had everything to do with what she trained for. All of her other fights,
and I agree with that 100%.
She always fought. She hasn't fought a real boxer yet, and this was it. And that boxer dissected her piece by piece. You could see her face was all messed up by the end of round 1 anyway.
That's what I said. Yeah. It
wasn't like you knew it was coming. You watched that fight and you go, holy crap, she's going to get her ass kicked. She's going to lose that fight.
She has never been as popular as she has been in the last 6 months.
No. Of course.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because every win to get you more and more famous.
Right. And in this fight, the fight after this run of popularity and things going on, she got her butt kicked.
Yes,
okay,
that's
what happened. Okay, that's it. That's all. I rest my case.
That's not.
I take it to the jury.
Your case was that it happened because she was on the Tonight Show.
No, you see, no, that's what you say.
Just go. Please go to the next one. Please go to the next one.
You say that. And I didn't say nothing about Tonight Show. I made Tonight Show one of the things she did out of a ton of stuff she did in the last 4 months while preparing for this fight. Every talk show she was on, every talk show. Right? Every talk show?
She was on a lot of them.
A lot of them.
I'm sure she's not on every one.
2 hours on Stern? That's a long time. Plus the ride there, ride back. That's a whole day's worth. Oh, whatever. That's my case.
Whole day?
I'll take it to the
I don't agree with you. There you go. End of story.
That's what your job is.
Because
you disagree with me all the time.
Because the only thing you ever talk about is that famous people shouldn't be doing things that famous people do. They shouldn't be on shows. They shouldn't be doing photo shoots. They should wake up, go to the gym, and go home.
You're making that up.
I'm not making that up. You said it about Kaepernick. You said it about Rousey. It's all you ever say.
Kaepernick's not on the bench. Rousey got her ass kicked. I wonder, Okay. Anyway, speaking of getting her ass kicked.
But you're saying, because obviously you're not going to say it while they're on top. You're going to wait until they lose to say it. Of course you're not going to. You would say the same. If Tom Brady was awful right now, you'd be saying the same thing about Tom Brady. But he's amazing. So you're not saying a goddamn word about it.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't pick Tom Brady. Tom Brady, first of all,
he's doing episodes of Entourage and he's deflating footballs
no, he's that good. It don't matter. Okay.
Oh, come on. Now you can't have it both ways here. Even Superman had kryptonite, for God's sakes, and I know you make that.
That's great. That's right. And this guy, and where's the low in this guy's career so far? When he retires, that'll be the end of him. And believe me, this guy will retire as a champ probably. I mean, look at him. It's ridiculous what he's doing out there on a football field right now. It's not even fair. The New York Giants, they thought they had a football game won yesterday. And then they went brain dead at the end. I'll pass the Eagles right now to go right into that game. Because Tom Coughlin, he's senile now. I mean, he's blowing football games for his team. Okay? They should have 4 more wins than they do now because he makes mistakes and when it comes to clock management. And how they had the ball at the 5-yard line with the 2-minute warning, and like the Patriots had 1 timeout in the 2-minute warning, and they lost that game. They put the ball in the air. That's almost as bad as Seattle last year throwing the ball on the 1-yard line. I mean, come on. You eat that clock. You don't put the ball back in Brady's hand. That's the rule. I don't care if you have 30 seconds. You don't put the ball in his hand. Because he'll get you downfield in 30 seconds and get a field goal team on there, and they'll kick the field goal before the clock goes out.
Because Coughlin's an idiot. Let's just end. We can end it there. He's an idiot. He showed it consistently all year.
All his career, really.
But really this year that he cannot manage a clock at all.
I don't understand why. I still to this day don't understand why your assistant coaches, and I know coaches have the last call, they don't get in your ear. I mean, you mean to tell me they got a whole coaching crew agrees with the move, and no one could come up and say, hey, Tom, look, that's not a good idea. The guy in the booth, offensive coordinator, said, look, let's not do that. They don't do that. They can't.
Know what each team should employ instead of having these old men who have so many things going on in their mind that they're not focusing on what it is. Have some 13-year-old online Madden player on the sideline saying, this is right now you should be calling timeout, or right now you should be running the ball. Right. Because this is what I do 24 hours a day. I know when the situations, because like I said, I would rather have a 1 point, because they're worried about field goal as opposed to a touchdown. I would much rather have a 1 point lead with Brady having 30 seconds left than having a 6 point lead or a 7 point, whatever it is, and Brady having 2 minutes left. Right. I don't care what the lead is. Give him as little time as possible, because odds are, if he has anything, he's going to get down there. When he threw
the pass and it was drop touchdown, I definitely thought they were running the next two plays. Run it to the middle, run it to the left. Use the clock. Wear down the clock to nothing. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they could have done that with two running plays.
I was saying to you before we went on, and I am a Patriot fan. Not so much like I'm a diehard, but I like the players. I love Gronk. I love Brady. As a Patriot fan, quote unquote, when he dropped that touchdown, or when he caught the touchdown pass, I'm like, oh, shit. Right. I was like, actually, no. When I caught it, I was, as a Patriot fan, I was saying, oh, yes, that's awesome. Got the ball back. Because now we have so much time left. When they overturned it, I was like, shit. I was like, because now they're going to run the ball two more times, get it down to under a minute, kick a field goal, and now we have no time out for 45 seconds.
Let them score.
That's what I was thinking.
Let them score.
I'm sitting there saying, when I see that ball to go in the air, in my head, I'm like, if I'm a corner, I'm just going to back off. Right. Catch it, get your 6, get your 7. We'll come down and score.
What tied the game, right? They wouldn't have to do the second. If that would have happened, they wouldn't have had to go to 2 point conversion.
It was a 2 point game, I believe. Was it it was a 1 point game? 1 point game.
So they would have scored the touch. No, after the field goal was a 1 point game. I can't remember now.
I don't know.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I'll look up in a second.
And had the field goal just sneak in there like it was so freaking.
But either way, yeah, like I said.
And freaking Goodell was there that night yesterday. He was on the sidelines hanging out, I don't know what that was all about, but
he was rooting for the Giants. Obviously,
yeah, I'm sure there was some kind of money thing going on that he had to show up at that stadium and hang out with Kraft for a while, But that's just so Tom Brady. I thought it was done. I just didn't know where they were going to win that football game when the Giants were down there. I think, all right, there goes the undefeated season. Now we have a Cincinnati and Carolina.
Well, they went up 2 with the field goal. The Giants.
Oh, 2, yeah.
Yeah, because the Patriots ended up winning by 1 on their field goal.
Yes.
Right. So the field goal would that was it. Yeah. So the idea that the Giants couldn't get a touchdown was field goal and then still left them time on the clock. How do you give Tom Brady time on the clock to only get a field goal? That's 2 passes. Was Edelman in that time?
They scored with a minute and a half left. Or sorry, minute 50 seconds.
Right.
That's way too much.
That's way too much time for Tom Brady.
I'm going to tell you, 50 seconds is too much time.
Right.
Even with a timeout.
You throw that pass,
even without Edelman.
Right.
Yeah.
You run the ball in the middle, you get to run off 35 seconds, right? You run the ball again, you run off another 35 seconds. Right, that's the clock. 35.
Yep. So I think it's 40.
40. Okay, 40. Even worse. So there's 80 seconds. You get to run off that clock with 2 running plays, and you're still in field goal position to get the same exact thing you got anyway.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, correct. For us, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It keeps the Eagles as bad as they are.
Keeps Dallas in the play. That's how bad it was for that. Yeah. What a division, man. I mean, the Eagles, and that goes back to Eagles. They're not a good football team. And I don't want to hear about how they could be a good. They're not. They're not a good football team. Bottom line, they're as bad as their record says they are.
I want to go back, and last week we did our report cards. I want to change my answer. I want to go and change like the D's that we gave for that I gave for wide receivers and make them F's for freaking horrible. Yeah. I mean, that's how bad. We don't have anybody that can catch the freaking ball on this team.
Nobody.
And the worst part is, you know what?
Can catch. That's a bad way to get the ball to him.
Ertz, yeah, maybe. Selleck, maybe. Okay, they might be your 2 best hands on the team, but here's
it's not your best hand doesn't get the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Sproles doesn't get the ball enough. I don't
true.
understand
okay.
That. I don't know why he isn't in the game plan.
You know what's even more frustrating? That nobody's running the right routes, or it doesn't. You know what? The quarterbacks seem to be on a different page. No matter whether it was Bradford or Sanchez, they're throwing the balls, and these wide receivers are not. How the hell do you get to that point in week 9, 10? That were with you don't know the freaking playbook by now. How does that happen?
That's coaching.
because Miles Austin probably was on Tonight Show last night. So
okay.
I'm gonna run with that now.
And when you said the Tonight Show with Dave Leonard, you had to go back to like Jack Parr for him. You know that.
But anyway, we real quick to finish off with the Patriots Giants game. So I was looking at the actual time. They had 1st and goal from the 5-yard line with 1:06. They kicked that field goal with 150. So they ran 16 seconds off the clock.
It's illegal. As an NFL coach, that's illegal. There's no way that's Reedish.
You ran 16 seconds.
Reed would have done better.
I think that's
going from 1st to 4th.
As a quarterback, Manning, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's got to be able to go to his coach and say, "Look,
can we just run the ball?
Wait a minute, man. Come on, man. Where you at?" That's what I don't understand about NFL players. They are who they are. They're $1 million players. They run the show, especially these quarterbacks, and they can't talk to their coach. They can't sway their coach. I mean, Manning can, Peyton can. Brady can, but I mean, so what? I mean, why can't Eli go up and say, "Look, man, let's run the ball," or just run the ball? And everybody says you can't. They won't be able to handle repercussions if they go against their coach.
Yes, they can. Certain quarterbacks can. Yeah,
I'm saying, but they say that. They say players don't do that. Well, when it gets to be obviously ridiculous week in and week out of how your coach is doing, you got to step up. Well, take the ball and roll out and run it.
Yeah, Nick Foles probably couldn't.
Yeah, right.
Brian Hoyer probably couldn't. I'm going to say 100% confident that Eli Manning could do it with no problem.
He's holding his 2 rings up and saying, "I'm going to do this, right? That's it. End the story. Yeah, see these things? I'm going to take over this team." That's how it's got to be. I mean, there's football knowledge. And for the 3 of us to sit here and beef about this right now, and we don't play the game. And Mike and I, we had this game was lost.
It's just common sense.
Yeah. Of all the sports I know about, football's my weakest. I never played, and I still know what to do.
Any other quarterback in this Rodgers or I'm turning that game off at that point. There's no way I'm winning that game. But Tom Brady, I'm not turning it off because somehow, some way, this guy, whether it's a miracle or whatever, finds a way to win football games like this.
Well, because he's the best ever.
Yeah, that's the best ever. I mean, I had Montana on that. He knocked Montana off last year when he won that Super Bowl.
I'm glad you feel that way finally. Yeah, he is the best ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's getting better as he gets older. That's unheard of in the NFL. I mean, other than maybe Elway staying good right on through his whole career. And Elway took a beating at the end, but he won 2 Super Bowls to step out of the league. That's probably the best there ever was. Him and Bettis. Well, Bettis did the same thing. I don't know why Bettis retired. I don't know if he was just too old. He was breaking down. Yeah.
He was like a more like a figurehead of the team than he was an actual player. He was awful by then. He was just too big and too fat. Too slow.
Me, Tom Brady loves the game so much.
He's not going to retire.
He's not going nowhere, and he physically doesn't.
I think I read something. He was playing for. He wanted to play for another 5 years. He said.
He probably can.
Past his 40s. That'd be great. as long as they build an offensive line. Now you can see what's happening to, old quarterbacks that are good, like you watch Manning yesterday. He don't have the offensive lines he used to have.
He
it has nothing to do with offensive line.
I'm not saying
he's toast.
Yeah,
but he's getting hit too.
It's to his neck. The one in his neck is messing up his shoulder.
Yeah,
you cannot. You can see his throws
it's not even,
are going down. They got no zip on it.
You know what he does? He gets 1 or 2, and that's it. He's done. He gets to make 1 or 2 passes with that arm, and he's done.
Well, he's benched now.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, did we see Peyton Manning's last start?
I can't tell by reading.
I can't imagine he would go out that way.
But I can't. I read one part. He's a couple weeks out, and another one he's going for the season. Then they said there's a broken bone in his heel.
It's plantar.
Yeah,
it's
a quarterback's injury. That's an athletic injury.
Yeah, it is.
That's what Eli had.
Yeah,
everybody has it at one point. I mean, I think there was. I want to make a joke. That's what Chooch had all summer. Right? When he had that. And wasn't there an athletic player who was running in college a couple, like 7-8 years ago, who actually tore it and it actually felt better?
Yeah, it's from what I hear, it's better when the worse it gets, the better. Once it's gone, it's gone.
It's but
it's not. It doesn't stop you from moving, but the pain is harsh.
Oh God, it's horrible.
Right. It's like I had this Morton's neuroma on the front of your foot. They call it something like that with a tendons or crisscross.
Yeah.
And you can do any when you push your on the balls of your feet. The pain just shoots right up through your back.
Yep.
But you can still walk and do, but you just got to be able to take the pain and stuff. It's the same, but it's the front and back of the foot. I mean, look, when your feet go bad, you go bad. It's so hard to maintain that.
Yeah, certain things, your feet and your back. When they go bad, they go bad.
Yeah, well, and when you get hit too while it's going bad, it's also when the offensive line isn't that good and you're still getting hit with all this pain, it adds up.
Not to mention the fact that his arm is completely cooked. It's awful.
It's a shame, man.
He throws these lobs, these ducks up there.
And it's all, you could see it. It's all from his neck injury because I got a bad back and bad neck too. And you could just, when I turn,
I said a couple
Turn your
weeks
head
ago,
and that's it.
I was listening to a guy in Indianapolis radio when I was listening. They were talking about Manny because he's still a big deal there. Regardless, he can't tie his shoes. He can't bend over. Okay?
I believe it.
They help him. You don't see it, but they help him all over the place. All right, so he's done. He's becoming Johnny Unitas type. Where nothing left in your body works. And it's a shame because it's in the future. Unless he's smart enough to get out now, who knows what he'll be like in 5 years with the back, the feet, the whole.
I don't think he's done this. I think he's done this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's done this year. I just don't. Could be if they were 4-5, I'd say yeah. They're still gonna go to the playoffs. Yeah. I can't imagine they come around to the playoffs and he doesn't say I'm getting in there.
But I'm looking at it.
They're gonna have to do it with the defense now.
He's not gonna. They're not gonna. Do they win the AFC?
Not yet.
Well, obviously not the AFC. The Patriots are going to win that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You mean the West?
No, I'm just saying that this is. You don't do it this year. I don't see you having. Just by the way, I saw him throwing and running and maneuvering.
Well, no,
he's not back next year.
There's no way I don't think he should come back next year. But that's not the point I'm saying. I'm saying if it gets to the playoffs and they're in the playoffs, I can't imagine Peyton Manning being like, no, Brock, you take it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him not saying I'm getting in there.
If they get to the playoffs, he's
which
playing.
They're going to.
Yeah.
They start 7-0, or they only have 2 straight losses. They need 2-3 wins to get in. So I can't imagine a situation where he's not playing again, at least this year.
I mean, I don't see why he doesn't. I expect him to sit next week, and
they already announced he is now.
Yeah, and maybe even for a couple of weeks, and if you get into the playoffs, maybe I don't know. Anything can happen. You just get to if you get to Brady, you know what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. The lineup, the last showdown. That's what it's going to be billed as, and it's going to be huge ratings.
Cash, before we go and get to a break or anything, he's not the only quarterback to lose his job this week. I know you want to.
Nicky Montana.
You've been waiting for this one. You've been waiting for that one.
This guy would have been our starter when he went down. I don't know. I haven't followed St. Louis. I know he started off pretty good for 2 games, but then he just went completely downhill. Indecisive, from what I hear. I watched a couple.
He's been bad. He has been. Yeah. He's got arguably the best running back in football behind him. And that being said, he has no targets either. He has none.
Yep. And he's
his best receiver is Tavon Austin, who's a running back.
Yep. And
Kenny Britt, he has no targets either. I don't understand how these teams get in these situations where they just have nobody.
Yeah, is it so diluted that there's not enough quarterbacks out? I remember 3 years ago, with quarterback crazy. Everybody had a good quarterback. Every team had somebody.
I meant receivers, but. Yeah.
Oh, you mean
like how there's so many teams who just have no talent at receiver.
Too. Now you look at
Foles isn't that great, but he's dropping back and he has nothing to throw to.
It seems like every team's got.
Wes Welker, is that really?
Teams that barely have one good receiver now. It's like the wide receiver.
But then there's these teams who just pull them out of nowhere where they're good. And
maybe it's the quarterbacks too. I mean, if you look at
it definitely helps obviously because
who's taking over who's Brady got now? I mean, him losing Edelman is a big deal.
Amendola just caught 10 balls.
I know. That's the same dude.
That's a guy who last year couldn't get on the field.
Right. And and they're going to come up with somebody else.
They definitely will. They 100% will.
There's somebody sitting somewhere that they know because that's what they do. They back themselves up. They got people in positions over and over again, and all you need is Brady to put the ball in the right spot, and that's it. And I hate to keep boasting about this guy, but it's true. He makes everybody on his team better.
Yep.
He's got 200 tight ends who probably could start for other NFL teams if they wanted to.
And the same kind of thing with Pittsburgh, with Roethlisberger. Mm-hmm. He's that good where, Antonio Brown, granted, he's great.
He won. I think
but I'm saying he was like a 6th-round pick, something crazy like that. Before he went to Denver, Emmanuel Sanders was a guy you never heard of, and Roethlisberger made him. Martavis Bryant just had 175 yards. Granted, he was at Clemson, so I'm aware of him. But the average fans know Roethlisberger just turns these guys into gold. Yeah, I think certain quarterbacks just do that.
Here's the thing: I think we got to stop. We got to start kicking Roethlisberger up in that category with the other boys. I mean,
what he did yesterday was crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
because we talked about him missing 6 weeks.
Yeah, I know. When I saw him, I was like, whoa!
I was shocked.
It was like 3 to 4, something like that. Weeks.
I was worried about Antonio Brown getting some play yesterday because he's my main guy on my team, and without him, he's 42 points a week.
That was from the ankle thing, right? Obviously, nothing was broken.
Yeah,
he
rolled his ankle, right?
Man.
He's always hurt. It seems like he's always hurt.
He broke the record.
Yeah.
Most passing yards off the bench in NFL history. 379.
You got to wonder what he was doing on the bench. You know what I mean? I don't know. Crazy stuff.
And last quarterback note, Romo will start this week.
It doesn't matter. That team.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. I agree.
Their team leader, what's his name?
He's fighting reporters. No, that team leader. The other team leader, Hardy, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know who he's threatening this week or what.
Yeah. I just love Jerry World, man. It's just so perfect down there. It's an implosion. I mean, what people think that Romo, what has he done in the past 10 years to think that he's going to salvage a team?
He doesn't. No one thinks that. No one in the world thinks that. Romo is a very good quarterback. You don't give him enough credit. He's a very good quarterback.
Don't give him credit. He's great for our show, and he's great for getting stats.
I don't care what the show quarterback. I don't care what the show. He's
a fantasy football dream when he's playing.
Good quarterback.
Yep.
He's a good quarterback. You can't say he's not a good quarterback.
He's better than average.
He's better than average. Yeah, I mean, he has.
And I'll say this with
he's a good quarterback
without the passion of patron saint status that he says. He's an above average quarterback because in order to be classified as a good quarterback, you got at least a playoff game or two.
Yeah, he does.
That's it. I mean,
you can say that about.
Is he better than McNabb?
Is he better than McNabb? I'd take him in a game over McNabb. Yeah.
Well, McNabb's won so much more than him.
I'm not in that camp of. I'm just playoffs saying, makes everything.
I'm just saying, stats wise, he's better too, right?
That's a whole nother argument.
See what I mean?
Let's take Tony Romo's career just for a second. Let's compare it to some other quarterback in history that had a career like he did and didn't make the playoffs or won one playoff game. The only one I can think of closely would be Dan Fouts
or Boomer Esiason.
Well, Boomer went to Super Bowls.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. Yep.
I don't know. Fouts go to Super Bowl?
To Chargers?
No, he never made the Super Bowl. But Fouts. That's a typical.
I don't compare eras like that. It's completely different game.
No, I'm not talking about eras. I'm talking about that kind of player who was that good of a quarterback. Fouts was a good quarterback who could never had the teams that could make a playoff. Where he never took a team.
You can find more modern day quarterbacks than that. Like Andy Dalton would be one.
Well, Dalton's playing long enough, man.
No, I'm just saying Carson I would be another one.
I don't know.
He's never won a playoff game.
Okay. You know what? He's probably got the same type of career.
Yep. I was just thinking that too. Yep.
He just can't get that big game under his belt.
But Romo's better than Palmer.
I don't know.
Romo's a good quarterback. If you make a list of the every team's starting quarterback,
he's going to be.
Romo's going to be in the top 12 at top 10 probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, to me, a good quarterback is. Well, I got a different opinion. A good quarterback's a team leader, one who controls the team, who wins football games. He's like a pitcher, man. He's out there. When they win, quarterback gets it. When they lose, he gets it, one way or another. Be as may, we like Tony Romo on our show. Special.
That's weird. We just talked about all of them. Wow.
I'm Cassidy King. I got the chef. We're going to go pay some bills. This is the Sports Goombahs. We'll be back in a few.
Take control of your life. We help you take it back. ServPro of Doylestown understands the stress and worry that comes with fire or water damage. ServPro of Doylestown specializes in the cleanup and restoration of residential and commercial property after a fire, smoke, or water damage situation. ServPro of Doylestown also mitigates mold and mildew. Their staff and crews are highly trained in property damage restoration. If disaster strikes you and you need to schedule service for your home or business, call them 215-348-7755 for ServPro Industries. It's a nationwide brand you know and trust.
Public adjusters. Get the edge on your insurance company. 215-752-1237. That's 215-752-1237. Or check them out at castlepa.com. Don't settle for less. Get the maximum for your claim. Castle Public Adjusters. 215-752-1237.
Hey, yo, Cassie, what are you doing?
I got plumbing problems here. I can't get the water to go down the drain. What am I going to do?
Call Guaranteed Plumbing, 215-342-7200 for all your plumbing needs. Serving the Philadelphia area and the greater Delaware Valley.
What was that phone number again?
215-342-7200.
Oh, yeah.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
You're back. You have to let Brendan be. The wall. Sports Goombahs rocking the 515 studio here in Lower Bucks, down in Lower Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And this is the pick session. This is where I try to make you a few bucks. Mikey and myself have been on a interesting roll, a coaster.
From a credible source saying that Romo is in fact top 10 easily. He said he's been 5 to 10 his whole career.
Credible source.
Credible source.
I don't know what that is.
You would cite this as credible source.
Yes. Junior ain't always right. He ain't always right.
He's right on this one, and he's definitely top 10.
I'll go upper level to the senior and ask him. He'll tell you. All right. Anyway, this is the pick session. Is brought to you by Auto Magic Car Care. Speaking of Auto Magic Car Care, check them out at automagiccarcare.com. 215-322-2561. They are the number one auto detailers in the Delaware Valley, bar none. All right. Last week, little 3-3 action. Having a rough time here. Last couple weeks haven't been so lucrative. NHL helped me, hurt me. I don't know. A couple college games got me back. Bad scene in Nashville against Toronto. I had a big game there. It was a -250. I laid a lot of dough to beat Toronto. And I took the side totals too. It was a double loss, a big, huge money loss on that one.
That was a rough one.
Most disappointing, to say the least. Came back with a couple college plays, and then Nashville came back. They were 2 out of 3 last week, but the money difference wasn't good enough, okay, because of that 250 loss. I was high on that game too, and I was disgusted. It was such high. Toronto, what did they do? I couldn't believe that.
I think the exact words were, don't even look at the line.
Don't even look at the line.
Just take it.
That's it. Yeah, I was so, every now and then you get that, whatever. No sense talking about it.
After you lost, you have to look at the line to know how much you owe your bookie.
Yeah. Well, if you're paying your bookie, it's a little bit my fault this week. I mean,
just a bit.
3-3 is no good in sports betting. Although in FanDuel and DraftKings they would say different, wouldn't they? We'll get to them a little later. Anyway, this week I got 2 hockey games I like. All right, once again, we're still in Nashville. We're not leaving Nashville because they're our Dow Jones team. Anaheim Ducks. I like the number on this one. 160. I expected to see it actually a little bit lower. Now that I see it in 160, I like it against Anaheim. Anaheim's not playing as good as they could be right now. Nashville's home. Anytime Nashville's home, I like them. I like them anyway. This is my Dow Jones team. I'm on them. Okay? Stay with them. Stick with them. You're going to be ahead of the game. Jeez, I hope. And the other one is the Kings are coming to Philadelphia. Now, the Flyers squeaked one out against Carolina the other day. I don't like this hockey team at all. I mean, I know they're trying to build something. I don't know what it is the Flyers are building. I watch every game now, and I'm still trying to find someone who can put the puck in the net. Voracek, he
finally scored.
And it was the biggest thing. 10 games in?
10 games in.
And
this is our sniper.
Our sniper, right.
We don't have one.
They don't have one, and I don't know if they have one coming up in the ranks either.
They do. They do have a scorer down low, but he's not going to be ready. Forwards do not make it first year.
No.
You might see Provolov as a defenseman come up, but you're not going to see Konecki.
Flyers in trouble this year. They might might maintain a possible 8th spot because of other teams, but they're going nowhere. LA's coming into town. I don't even like the game at all, but I like the fact that LA's 2.5 on the side total. I want the Kings here 2.5 goals. I think they get 3 against the Flyers. Whether they win or lose it, I don't even care, but I do think what they have on the Kings right now will beat the Flyers, and I'm not even sure who's in net anymore with them.
With the Flyers,
yeah, it's back and forth.
You can't discredit the goalies. Both of them have been solid.
There's no defense,
and the defense is getting hurt.
And B, the one thing that's really bothering me.
Stay awake. Stay with us, kid.
What would I do?
It's hockey. We thought you were nodded off.
Nodded off. He sat with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
I might as well not close at any point. I'm not listening. I'll be honest, but
all right, whatever. My point. 3 games I watched. Why can't they run a 3-on-2 break and get a shot? It's almost insane.
It's that always another pass. Nobody has confidence to score a goal on this team.
That's been going on for years with this hockey team.
And nobody has the confidence to shoot.
And the only time they score is when you have those bing bang slingshot comes off of somebody, hits somebody's stick, goes in somehow through a group of guys in the front.
Which is great if you're taking other shots. Right. Okay, that's a power. That's been their power play system is bing, bing, bing with Simmons or somebody big in front of that. It's not going to work anymore. So
doesn't work in Chicago, doesn't work in LA, it doesn't work in Anaheim, and it might work in Pittsburgh these days because I don't know what's going on.
My God,
there's the brawl.
The best thing about the Flyers is the Pittsburgh's even worse. They're more.
What's going on over there?
And they have talent. I hate as much as I hate them. They have talent.
This week and heard on Pittsburgh radio, they're fighting amongst each other there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it's like. The coach got to go. When you got players fighting like that, verbally back and forth,
yes,
the coach has got to go. It's just that's
the funny thing was everybody was like Blysma this, Blysma. He was hard. He kept that team a unit.
That's right.
And
I didn't like coaching for now.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Same. Anyway, here's my 2 games. I like Nashville minus the 160, and I like the LA Kings tomorrow to go over to 2.5 on the side total. Like I said last week, 3-3. You're paying your book if you're hanging out with me. Mikey.
Yes. And Cash, you just remind them, of course, where they can follow your plays all week.
That's right. You can follow at www.sgshow.net. Cashy's Corner. Just click on the top.
There you go. Follow them all week. Last week I was 1-0 for the 3rd straight week, boys. I am hot, so stick with me if you want to win some money. Last week I told you to take Alabama. They were -8 at the time of the game when I said here game time, so people on the other end. They won, I believe, 31-7, something like that, something crazy. Where it's one of those games where it was never in doubt. You won your money and you were comfortable winning it. So that's what I've been doing recently. I'm gonna stick with them.
Wait, I got to interrupt you 1 second.
Go for it.
For those guys who called me up, talk to me about my college picks. I mean, okay, the Alabama game wasn't my pick this week. Mikey put it on my board. He just said I can't take that game. Okay, it was on my board, but he put it there, so that's his play. Okay, I don't know nothing about college. Okay, some certain guy gives me a call now and then, tells me when a good play's after I post. Whether or not these college plays are Mike's. Right there, it is.
But you know what? But we're all under the same banner. So if I got to win, you got to win, Cash. We all got to win. So when you lose, we all lose.
Well, look, you saved me. Okay.
Trying to get some money, but hopefully, we're just in our head. They bet like $100 on each of these games, but they went for like 1,000 on my pick. Well, so in our heads, we won the money. Look at it that way.
There you go.
So I'm gonna do some more money for this week. How about this one for a play? We got LSU. I'm big with the SEC, so I'm gonna stick with that. LSU is number 9 in the country. They're playing Ole Miss. Ole Miss is good, but Ole Miss is -4. Ole Miss is also unranked. So if I get number 9 in the country getting 4 points, and it's more of a perennial power, they're just better. So take LSU. Right now, they're +4 against Mississippi. Take that, and I think they're going to win the game outright, and they'll win some more money.
Here it is. So that's our plays for this week. Like them, don't like them, do what you want them. They're free and they're for you, and they're brought to you by Automagic Car Care. Check them out at automagiccarcare.com or call them at 215-322-2561. Let them know you got from the Sports Goombahs. Get a little discount, or maybe not. Who knows? All right.
If you get one, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. I want to talk a little bit, just a touch into the NBA right now. As I've been watching a couple games, I tried to.
You can check out.
Yeah, I can. I'm watching the 76ers. Okay, I'm just watching to see what the hell's going on here. I mean, they've been bad in the prior 3-4 seasons, but 0-10 start, that's real bad. I mean, last year they had a decent start, right? And the year before,
won at least once.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It was 2 years ago. Start. 2 years ago, they had that.
They started like 3-0,
and they dumped everybody. Yeah. So Brett Brown, how he's still here, how he hasn't quit. Like, he's not going to quit. NBA coaches typically don't quit. But the business model here, I thought was going to be started to go the other way by year 3 here. And it very well might next year. I don't know. It depends on injuries. I mean, it seems like the Sixers always get a player that pushes them back a little bit. You know, next year they're promised a couple players. Looks like they're going to go for a first-round draft pick again. I don't know who's coming. Who's coming out of who's coming out of college right now?
There's some big names.
Yeah.
The best one is Ben Simmons, who's a guard.
Oh,
which is what we need.
Oh, well, there you go. Tank the season. 0-82, Bo.
Yeah, so it's I don't have any clever name for it. You know, bomb for Ben. I don't know what we want to call the season.
But still, you know, you got to get the ping pong.
But the way you look at it, I mean, look at the positives, and that's what you have to do is who are there's only really 2 players here that matter, and it's Noel and Okafor,
and they're watchable. And
looking at tonight, they lost again tonight, 0-11, I believe now.
What's the record?
0-11.
I mean, what's the record for the opening of season without a win? I
don't know. I remember the Nets
20,
were really bad.
29,
but those are the Lakers. It was I forget who it was. It was somebody a while ago, but we're not really in danger of that yet. I mean, if we get there, who cares? But look at the things you really need to worry about, because you know what? If TJ McConnell has a bad game, that doesn't matter because he's not a part of what's really going to be here. Noel tonight, double, 12 and 12. Yep. I'm fine with that.
Does that a lot.
And you got to look at Okafor, 19 and 11.
Yeah,
so the things that matter are looking good.
Is he the best rookie right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The other one's banging a Kardashian.
No, I would actually. Who went number 1 is looking really good as well.
Yeah.
And Porzingis is actually looking really good.
Who's the one that's got it messed up?
Sounds like a mushroom.
That was going to be our pick.
And
right?
he's averaging like 4.5 a game.
There it is. She already killing him.
He bought into the fame. This is the one thing where this is the one time in life I will agree with you, Cashy. There are too many distractions for him. He's 19 years old in LA.
Done.
He's already linked to Kardashians. It's not going to be a good look for him.
Is he getting bucks?
You get enough. He's probably making like $5 million a year.
Yeah, she's not smart. She should let him get a little bit before she takes him down to Chinatown. You know what I mean?
She has more. She probably has more than he does. So that's not a worry. But it's like I said, the things that actually matter are playing well. So that's all that matters. I mean, yes, we expect to be better in year 3, but looking at the roster now, they didn't go get anybody. So why did we sit there expect to be a better team?
I never expected.
I told
you.
Other than Okafor, and then you get Stauskas was a cute little addition, but other than that, there's nobody else that you got like, oh man, like how is this not working? Yeah,
you can't even play the game. Like, to try to play the game right, but it falls apart. You know, I just don't defensively. I don't see anything. You know,
next year. Like, I mean, I know it's always say next year, but next year is the year where if it doesn't work next year, maybe it's never going to work.
Yeah, I don't know. It might work
because if you get these guys back again, I mean, who knows if Embiid ever plays? If he's going to play, you'd assume he's going to be next year.
I completely
if he plays pretty much at this point, you wrote him off. Anything you get at him is a positive.
So you're looking at Embiid.
Just an added bonus.
You put Embiid next year, Saris.
Yes, because bring Sarachen's good. Bring in another top pick. Plus, we do have 4 first rounders, 3 or 4 first rounders.
Plus a first round pick. I mean, maybe the best, one of the top 3.
Yeah, it's very possible we could have, the top overall pick, and
then you're still 4 years away from being.
No, you're not. Because at that point you're fine. That's the reason they're not signing people.
Right.
There's no reason to commit any money long term to somebody. What's the difference between winning 15? No difference.
What I see,
that's why they're not signing anybody.
What I see here is
you'll finally sign people.
The build here, as long as the players are age-wise together, the build is exactly what they want to do. What they did over in San Antonio is to start it someplace, but you got to get it started first. And
you need that first building block, and Okafor really is that first. But I mean, Noel's nice. He's a nice complementary piece.
Be here for a while.
He's not a franchise guy.
No,
Okafor is a franchise guy. Let's also not forget the fact that we still own the Lakers pick. Everybody was upset, like, oh, it didn't fit. It was in the top 3, so we didn't get it.
Right.
They're 2-8.
Yeah,
the Lakers are just as bad.
As bad. Yeah,
they're just as bad. So we're gonna get that pick, and it's again gonna be. So we're gonna have 2 lottery picks again.
It might be,
not again, but we're gonna have 2 lottery picks.
The only thing that could jam the Sixers' future up is
a major injury
or cash. But they get so many of these first rounders that they have on their team, you got to start paying people after a while.
Not necessarily.
Well, if you think about it,
because you don't have to pay them until year 5.
Is that right? Is that the NBA? Yeah, year 5. Okay.
I mean,
but I can see the build here. I can see what they're doing. I expected to happen a little sooner, but they had a little. They got, what's the other guy that went down? Not Embiid, the one before him.
Noel?
No, who's the guy that they got from?
Bynum.
Bynum, right? Now, if that would have gone good, this whole thing would have been changed. Probably.
Yeah, because you would have kept Iguodala. You would have
Michael Carter Williams. Yeah,
it would have been a whole.
You would have done. You would have been 2 years ahead of where you are now.
It's just part of what they end up every year. It seems like
a guy like that. Every time we've tried to go out and get a big name guy, it's failed. Right. You know, when we got Weber, it failed. We got Bynum, it failed. So they said, screw it. We're not going to go out and try to sign these overpriced old guys. I mean, Bynum actually wasn't that old. Bynum was only 26. Right. But let's just start it from scratch, and that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, NBA it's unlike any other. It's like any other sport where you can't become good by being average. Yeah. Like the NFL, you can just hover around average for a while, nail a pick or two here and there, and next thing you know, you're good. Like in NBA, you need to bottom out. If you don't get a top 3 pick, other than the Warriors are the first team to ever do this. The worst team, where they were just. Granted, they have it took 10, let's not forget it. The Warriors 10, 15 years. They were awful for a while, but they were getting picks 7 and 9 and 11, who eventually turned out to be Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Harrison Barnes. But it's pretty much the entire core of their team.
It took 3 or 4 years for them to become the players they are. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got lucky because they never really bottomed out to where they got number 1 overall and it landed a LeBron or a Duncan or a Dwight Howard. But all those guys who are winning are guys who were taken first overall. And that's the pick you need. You need the Durants. You need the LeBrons. And you're not going to get that drafting 9. It's like the NFL where you can draft Aaron Rodgers 26 and be a franchise guy because teams 1 through 25 really didn't need a quarterback. In the NBA, if you're a star, you're a star. It doesn't matter if we need you or not. We go get you.
At least I see culpable plans.
Between
them and between the Sixers and the Flyers. I do see that. I mean, right now the Flyers do not have anybody that can score, but their future looks pretty good in the minor league system.
And with
the same thing coming up, what we're expecting from the Sixers could be nice.
Obviously, I don't like hockey. That's very obvious. But I'm aware that in hockey, you can be a 7 or 8 seed and get to the finals. I'm aware of that. That is something that happens. That doesn't happen in the NBA.
No.
Because number 8 is just simply not good enough to take out number 1. So what is the point of winning 40 games, being a 7 or 8 seed? Look, we had the one year where it was cute. We knocked off the Bulls. It was a great feel good. Mm-hmm. Next round, we got completely embarrassed by the Celtics, and that was that. And what did we end up with? The 15th pick and Rodney Carney, or whoever we got. It's a nobody. Yeah. So it may be cool to say, we made the playoffs, but in the long run, it's not getting you anywhere. You got to bottom out. They bottomed out, and they're continuing to bottom out. And the future is the future now than it was 5 years ago for the Sixers. So
I can't say the same that for hockey because right now, as I watch hockey, I see the same hockey I've seen with the different general manager last year and the year before. I don't see anything different about what's going on at ice. I don't.
But I'll tell you this: with what they have, you're not going to see that much of a difference because that's all they can play with. I don't think what they have on the ice is good enough. What they have, it's the same situation as the Sixers. Right, why go through all that work for nothing?
But I understand what you're saying, Pete, but I don't see different. I don't see a different scheme. I see the same scheme with different players. I see the same philosophy.
It's the same players. What has changed on this team?
Well, I'm not talking.
The only thing that's changed is the coach. So I don't understand what you're saying. Same scheme, different players. It's the same players, same scheme.
It's the same. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Same player, same scheme. That's what I meant. Okay. That I want to see something different. I want to see different plays coming out of the zone. I want to see guys doing stuff instead of racing down the ice as hard as you can, trying to find an open man left and right and blowing. I want to see some kind of setup. They never leave their own zone in any kind of rhythm. It's always just, he's got the puck. Race down there. That's what I'm seeing.
I'm not disputing, but you're asking for something to change right away. Then you're building. You're happy to build with the Sixers. You're happy to build with the Eagles. You're very impatient when it comes to the Flyers.
Because
no one's patient with the Eagles.
It's not. First of all, it's not that I'm not patient with the Flyers. I want to see a different scheme, a different way of playing, a different setup, a different type of power play. It's it's the same stuff. When I talk about Detroit. And I always do because no matter what they do, Detroit plays their way they play.
Not this year.
Well, whatever. They come out of the zone. They have plays. It's almost like a setup. It seemed like the Flyers get a puck on their stick. The guy who has on the puck, boom, down the ice, man. First man down. Just hits go, go, go. And it's almost like we're playing in the street. Whoever gets down there with me, see if he's open, and he can take the shot. There's no setup. And pull up. and start setting it up and making it and going around, or the trailer gets the puck. It's always the lead guy taking a shot.
And I'll tell you, and this goes back to 3 years that I've been saying this. You do not have a defenseman that can control the power play and have that first breakout pass or that first breakout thing.
Get me one.
Hopefully you got one in Provolov and a couple other ones in the minors. We'll see.
There's too many offs on that team, man. All right. Anyway, that was my anything else about basketball? Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I
said everything I had to say. Like I said, there's something there. You just gotta be patient.
Yeah.
If you want to tune out for the next 2 years, or for the last 2 years and the next 2, that's fine. Just when
Listen,
they
I like
start
basketball.
No,
Yeah.
just the people in general. Like if you're frustrated with the team, I'm not gonna sit here and say no, you can't. No, yes, when you're 0-11, you can be frustrated.
I always like basketball. The Sixers in the past 10 years, other than even the Iverson years, I wasn't really down. I wasn't into basketball as much then, but prior there, the younger days, like the 80s and 90s, I was go down to games by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And in those days, the Sixers didn't pack the stadium either. The Julius Erving years, they didn't.
No, it's not a basketball town.
No, definitely. And you would think it would be because of how the college and stuff, but it's just not. It's we're a football, baseball town here, and the 20,000 to see the Flyers.
And let me tell you too, across the league, and you should notice this. Probably because your picks, a lot of your hockey picks or side picks, scoring is down almost 1.5 goals per game.
Well,
average.
Except for the one Nashville game was you nailed 7-0. I checked the score the next day to see how you did. I was like, oh, all right, 7-0.
Yeah,
not bad.
The thing is with hockey is there's a lot of penalties being called.
Yes.
Okay, and there's a lot of.
But shouldn't that make more scoring?
Yeah,
technically,
you would think
so.
Yes,
right? But the power play, it's it's almost like the goalie.
I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the power
play, it was a good question, Mike. It was.
It's a power. Once again about the power play, the goalie knows what's coming.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's all set up, and the goalie gets to move around. So the power teams aren't good on the power play. And if you look at power play percentages, what are they? 15 to 19%. That's not real good.
No,
think about it. But that in hockey, 20% is considered good on the power play.
Yep.
You would think it was the other way around when you have an extra man. But really, some teams, and they always say, well, would you rather have the power play or a one-on-one, a
shootout?
A shootout from
a lot of players now are leaning towards the shootout thing. But here's funny. Your reason why is you look around. I don't know what it is. It seems like every goalie is standing on their head every time you see a highlight reel. It's somebody. You used to see it where somebody's breaking in and making like a top shelf between the legs, man. And all of a sudden that save that Lundqvist made this week with that thing, he just puts his stick down and it hits it and rolls right up. I think it was Lundqvist. Yeah.
But also another thing is goalies, they're like I've been saying for years, they're padded up real nice, man. There's a lot of plastic sticking out all over the place. The pads, everything. It's hard to
regulated though. It's not they've made it.
It is.
It is regulated, but it's not like enforced. They've made it. That's the thing. It's only enforced if it's overdone. They don't check the goalies every day.
I don't see that as being a big thing.
I'm sure it's kind of like Pine Tar at bat. You need to call. You need to tell them. Hey, check that.
You know what's funny? You bring that up. The Flyers used to be like like perfect at nailing people with illegal sticks with the illegal curve, but there isn't really much of that anymore either.
Because the sticks aren't wood anymore. You don't need to do that.
It's just. It's whatever it is.
Well, the thing is, hockey, the goalies have more protection than they did in the old days. It's tougher to score. The net didn't change. The goalies got bigger, and the pads got bigger.
Yeah, you're just talking the average person.
If I put a Bernie Parent picture up here right now, compared to Mason today, the two of them standing next to each other in front of the net, you're going to see a lot more net next to Bernie than you will Mason right now.
I think Mason's got like 6 inches on Bernie too, right?
Yeah, anyway, just because the pad, the waffle was used. I mean, the glove that Bernie Parent used to use was a catcher's mitt. That's what it was. It was a catcher's mitt with a little padding going up. That mitt that looks like, what do you call it? It's almost like it's.
I don't even know.
Not the
lacrosse.
Lacrosse. It was like a cross stick coming out of their arm because it's got the big net around it, and different. But it's tougher to score hockey. But you know what? And look at the goal scorers in hockey. There's not that many 50-goal scorers out there.
No.
I mean, and the one Ovechkin's the only guy putting the puck in the net, and his team can't win anything.
That's true.
Right.
That's cash in.
Enough hockey.
Old times.
Let's give some props out to Mike.
Damn this color TV and these.
Let's give some props to Mike, though, man. For somebody who does not watch a single game of hockey, he had 2 really good questions.
I don't watch.
And
but I am aware that they regulate this stuff. You can't just show up one day with giant, 40-inch
I don't
pads.
mean,
Like, hey.
well, come on, Mike, I'm not exaggerating that.
No, I know. I didn't say you were.
There are ways that they did it. There was one goalie for the Flyers, and I remember who it was. This guy back in the night, he had that shoulder pads, and he played for a long time. Gar Snow started the whole thing. He had these pads with this big, so he went down. He was covering the top of the net on a crouch. And finally,
every inch you can get.
Yeah, finally they thought that they weren't checking back then, but then they started to do it because then the mask became this. Then they had a little extension of the mask around the ear, so now you cut off another 4 inches that way. So when you're down, you get to cover that much more area, and that makes a difference. That's why. That's why scoring. They say scoring's up last year than it was the year before.
It was, yeah.
I didn't see that. Maybe it was in the West because it wasn't in the East. That's for sure. It wasn't down our way.
Overall, it was up.
Yeah.
But this year, it's definitely down.
Maybe we're just
time.
getting to the point where the goalies are just more talented.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, well, definitely.
More so than anything.
Definitely more flexible. Because, these guys are.
Oh my God! Yeah. I mean, you're seeing. I've seen probably more highlights.
Again,
three for the batting 500 tonight. Yeah,
good hockey point.
Yeah, I mean,
because I know I've seen hockey, and I used to play fantasy hockey, and I've seen stats before.
You used to wait. Whoa!
I played fantasy hockey before.
But how the hell do you play fantasy hockey without watching hockey?
I didn't watch. I looked at the box scores.
So
the computer tells you what player to pick. Man.
No, I'm like floored by
it.
I never auto drafted. Are you serious? That's blasphemous.
I'm not saying auto draft. I say you can tell by the stats of the computer.
I used to know who's good. I was a big, Miroslav Shatan was my
holy
goal
crap!
scorer.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Good old Miro. I remember him. But no, like you say, I remember back in the day. It's just like Grant Gretzky was the best ever. But it's like that's really average guys just putting 50 goals, no problem. Like. Yeah. Now it's now, like you said, it's the stars.
30 goals is a star season now in hockey.
Yeah.
When I was growing up as a kid, 30 goals was nothing for the boys. The Flyers had 3 guys that had 30 goals every year. Coming up with that. 50 goals, 60 goals.
You had a lot more scoring, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more playing the game right. A lot more passing went on. You had the Gretzky's, and listen, no, don't shake.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Well,
it was the right way.
No, we're not.
Because things were so much better back then.
Well, because.
Every sport was better back then. I know this.
Gretzky won titles, and he won scoring champions not by putting the puck in the net. He gave it to everybody else to do.
Nothing was better than running the veer with a nice fullback dive. And, these 3 receiver sets is crazy these days.
How many Stanley Cups did Gretzky win? 6, 5.
Somewhere.
He had 5.
Somewhere up there.
Yeah, he had 5 being the best assister in hockey history. Yeah, well, that happens. You don't get that too much now because that doesn't get you on ESPN or on the highlight show. It's the goals that count.
Well, he was up there in goals too.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't always the goal leader. He was the points leader. That's what he's known for. He had one season. What do you have? 100 goals? 80 goals? He did. He still has the record for goals in one season, I think.
I don't know about that.
Him or Lemieux, one of them have it, don't it? I think.
No, I thought it's somebody else. I could be wrong. I got to look that up.
No, but we really haven't gotten too far into the whole Bradford Sanchez thing before we move on entirely. Sanchez is a quarterback for at least the next 2 games. It's been announced. I mean, let's be honest with didn't look awful.
No, he looked like he knew what he was doing.
Other than the one pass, which, granted, yes, obviously he made a bad pass. Chip should have been running the ball in that situation. Just like we said about Coughlin should have been running it.
Yeah.
When you have the ball at the 9-yard line and you're trailing, and there's about 4 minutes left, so it wasn't like you could run the game out. But you should have been running the ball right there.
Didn't look like Sanchez knew how to move the offense faster.
So much faster.
Yeah, it looked so smoother. When
it looked like he was waiting for everybody else.
Yeah.
He got the line going. Come on, hurry up. Let's go.
He didn't look scared. And I'm not saying Sanchez is the savior.
I think he was so excited to get out there.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he was so excited. Not like in a laughing at him way. I think he was so excited to finally get out there.
What I couldn't figure out was why he
couldn't slow him down.
Why couldn't he hand the ball off in the shotgun? He kept tripping over DeMarco Murray's 3 times. He tripped over, he's putting it in there. I mean, I know he doesn't play with him, in he's not running he's running the second.
Yeah, it's probably the first time I was at the first.
I still disagree with that shotgun, man. These running backs that they have work so much better when they're sitting in the backfield and not have to take it on a stand-up handoff.
I just think you have to have it somewhere in your playbook.
Yeah.
You have to make it. I understand your base offense is shotgun, but once you get to a certain point, I mean, it's. Did you not watch any film on Murray before you signed him? The guy killed it, when the quarterback under center. It's not like Romo was taking handoffs at a shotgun or giving out handoffs at a shotgun. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I've tried my hardest to not make this a Chip thing this whole year, which has been an awful year. Man. This one, you can't put it on Sanchez.
Nope.
He made the bad throw. No. Yes, he was great. But he's put in a situation where he shouldn't have been making that throw.
Even before Sanchez was in there. I mean,
it's not like I said, we got off to a hot start and it's completely stalled.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure why it stalled. It's because he went to the air. I mean, basically, he didn't keep running.
I don't know what it was.
I mean, Murray had a couple good runs out of in the first quarter. He controlled the ball. I don't. It's almost like, and it happened with Andy Reid too. Sometimes they get bored of what they're watching out there. They want something. Oh, so you're running the ball good, and all of a sudden you throw the bomb downfield because you need that. It's almost like it's a rush for these offensive guys. They need to see that big bomb, that touchdown. And Reed was like that all the time. All of a sudden, he'd be controlling the ball on the ground and he'd just throw one deep, just to get the whole.
He likes the excitement of it. That's the whole the entertainment value.
Well, if you can lull him to sleep with runs and then you can beat him over the top. I mean, obviously, looking at this roster, we don't have anyone who can beat anybody over the top.
I don't think we have a quarterback who can get the ball over the top, that deep. You can't be throwing rainbows in the NFL.
It's a shame. Not even. I mean, I was so upset when he threw the interception. Not because I really care whether we win or lose, because I really don't. I don't care. I wanted him to do good. I really, really was rooting for Sanchez to come out here, look really good.
Me too. What did I post? I go, Pat Steaks, man. Here it goes, Pat Steaks. And then as soon as he throws the pick, I go to McDonald's.
I mean, I
knew I should have posted that up before that touchdown pass.
I'm not necessarily in team, Sanchez, but I really, really wanted him to do good.
He looks like the best thing they have right now. Well, he is. Now, next 2 weeks, he's what we have. Now,
he is what we have.
Now, and this is his chance, and this might be his last chance, to show something. Who do they play next week?
Oh, Tampa. If you can't beat Tampa at home.
The
Cowboys couldn't, but.
Listen, we can't beat Miami at home.
They're not even in the same class. I don't know why. I was listening to the radio all week, and it's a blowout, bro.
Well,
it's a blowout.
I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
Everyone said it's a blowout. Yeah. Every single person on the radio said this is a blowout. Not the people calling in, the hosts of these shows.
Well, I would never call an NFL game a blowout unless it was blown out.
Especially because I was like, yes, obviously we're riding high after a win against the Cowboys, but what have you seen from this Eagles team that makes you think that any game is going to be a blowout? They're not good enough.
They're not good enough.
They're simply not good enough.
They're the team you got to worry about getting blown out. The way I look at I don't see them when people say.
I don't see this as a type of team to get blown out either. Because all of our losses, we didn't get blown on any of them.
Well, the problem with all our losses, if you look at what we had going, the fourth quarters have been disasters.
Well, not necessarily, because the first quarters have been awful most of the time.
Well, look at the losses. The fourth quarters were the problem. Well, obviously. I mean, what they got? They're 4-5 now?
Yeah.
And they're one game out of first place.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it's not.
The season is
no worries here, man.
The season's not a loss. It's not over yet. It's just the fact that so many missed opportunities. But then again, at the same time, the Giants could say the same exact thing.
Is Sanchez going to get the Patriots?
Is he playing? No, we play. Well, he may if he's back. But the next two is against the Bucs and the Lions.
Oh well, the Lions just the Packers, man.
Yeah, but they're still pretty
bad. Green Bay.
These are games that you should win, and you should be 6-5.
You'll be 6-5 coming into New England.
Speaking of the Lions, though, beating your Patriots, I mean, I thought the Patriots were the clear-cut, unquestioned, don't even play the season because it's already over, best team in the league.
Yeah, the Patriots?
No, the
Packers.
Yeah, that's what I thought in the beginning. They came out like that. Definitely came out like that. I didn't know,
So yeah, you're
losing at Lambeau too.
You are going to tell me that I was correct, right?
Well,
you're going to say, Mike, you're right.
Would that make you? Would that make you correct?
No, I am correct. That's not making me correct. The fact that I was correct was what.
That makes you feel good. Take the kudos, buddy.
That's all. I just want you to agree that I was right.
Okay, you were right.
There we go.
Does that make you feel
move
good?
on.
That and $1 gets you what? Coffee?
No, not coffee. I would never pay for it.
Oh, by the way, I did look up your goals there. Nobody's ever scored 100.
I wouldn't think so. That's insane.
No, Gretzky came close.
92. Yeah. I knew we had something in that.
And it's funny if you think of Gretzky's got 1 and 2, and then Brett Hull.
Yeah. Okay.
86 goals in 91.
Yeah. Brett Hull.
And then Timo Solani. I knew Solani was up there. That 1 year he had was amazing.
There you go. It's your hockey update.
Now the Wall Report.
Yes, it is my favorite time, and probably yours as well. It is the Wall Report. You guys can always check out the links the next day on our site, sgshow.net. Click on the little Wall Report tab, and actually follow through with what I'm telling you, because what I'm saying you may be funny, may be interesting, but you got to see the links, you got to see the videos to really truly understand it and get it. Also, I want to take this time to promote myself a little bit. The little Mind of Mike tab, little section up top. I just updated it today, ranking the top 10 quote unquote draft classes in Saturday Night Live history. So check that out. It's a good read, I've been told.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I need you text me today about that, and then I didn't realize until I went on the site and saw it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Real good stuff. So we'll start things off today with not some good news for baseball players. Former Major League pitcher Tommy Hanson. Laughing at death, really?
No. You said pitcher.
I was going to say
complained a lot. You know what I mean?
Tommy Hanson. He passed away at the age of 29. He was really good at one point for the. He was lights out for the Braves. Apparent overdose. So Tommy died. Yeah, sad. Sticking with some not good news in baseball, Colorado Rockies. It's weird saying Colorado Rockies shortstop Jose Reyes, but he's arrested for allegedly attacking his wife on vacation in Hawaii. He choked her and shoved her into a door, and he got arrested. So rough time for baseball players out there.
They got to catch up to the NFL, man.
They do. They're behind. They're behind on their arrests and their domestic disputes.
They need about 3 years worth.
I want to give you some good news there, Cashy. Rob Ryan, he lost his job today.
No way.
Rob Ryan was fired.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I read that he wasn't losing his job.
Well, that usually comes right before you lose your job.
And I was surprised after that beating.
You do get embarrassed. Like utterly embarrassed, like 47 points dropped, and you have to lose your job.
I mean,
the Saints defense is the worst defense of football.
Absolutely, every week.
Yeah,
they don't even make plays. That Giant game should have told everybody what to do against them.
So Rob Ryan finally lost his job, so maybe he can come to the Eagles. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
man.
kidding.
I don't know.
That's going to piss you off. That's all.
Maybe just some screws on the bench need to be tightened up, something like that. That kind of stuff.
Possibly.
Get the water.
Let me see here. Following the Seahawks win, this was actually, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Whenever the Seahawks played the Cowboys, Marshawn Lynch stopped by a local Mickey D's for some food after the game. I left a $500 tip for some boy, a 17-year-old boy. They started talking. He said, the kid said, "Oh, I like your sneakers." So he gives him $500 to go get the sneakers. And the kid apparently, the story is vouched by the manager, and the kid went out and bought the sneakers, which sounds like a nice story. But in my head, I'm thinking, you work at McDonald's. You just got $500.
Yeah, the sneakers are the most important thing.
You have to run out and buy $500 sneakers with that. Yeah. Like that's just
that's a rent or mortgage.
Yeah, well, obviously not for a 17-year-old, but maybe not go and blow it all on. I know what I would do. To be honest, I'd keep the bill and say, or whatever. I don't know if he gave him they don't have $500 bills anymore. I should know that. But the money he was given, I would have held him like, yo, this was Marshawn Lynch. He gave me this. And then also after it was the pair of shoes were called Buscemi's. Apparently, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's an ugly shoe. They got wind of this story. They also they gave this kid a pair of $2,000 sneakers. Cashy, I'm going to put this picture on the site so you can see it. These are the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my entire life.
They usually are.
The more expensive the shoe, honest to God, the uglier they usually are. And it's hideous. It physically has a padlock on the laces. Ugh. It's I think it's like zebra print in gold. It is the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life, and it are $2,000. It's pathetic. Something actually I meant to mention on last week's Wall Report. I don't know why it was on my list, but I completely forgot to mention it. But there's still news going about it now. The fight between an Eagles and a Cowboys fan following their game went viral and showed an Eagles fan is getting knocked out cold. Three men were arrested. Which sounds like a normal story, which, first of all, you'd probably hear about it more if it happened in Philadelphia, of course. It would have been headline news on the Sports Center. But it happened in Dallas, so no one really talked about it. But the men who were arrested, they happen to be named Jose, and Ignacio Castillo. Yes, they were brothers. So I don't know why. One's a Cowboys fan, one's an Eagles fan. They got into it, and he knocked his brother out cold.
Okay. I thought it was three brothers against him.
No, it was them fighting each other.
Oh, that's
They got that heated. Eagles Cowboys, that the three brothers, he knocked his brother out just cold. And I have the video that'll obviously be on the site tomorrow. But I don't know if you guys have any brothers. I
have 5.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being that upset over because obviously the Cowboys fan was going to knock them out. He lost the game. So I'm probably riding a little emotional.
Some booze in there somewhere.
Yeah, of course, there's booze in there, but
there's an igniting factor.
I can tell you, God honest truth, when we would get together, not quite so much anymore, but younger when we were
you'd knock your brother out.
No, the house would
cold.
shake because we would wrestle. We would get some wrestling done. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with a good wrestling.
No, I put the crossface on my little brother.
The NFL apologizes to the Ravens. I don't know if you saw the end of that game. That game was insane at the end. They apologized to the Giants or the Jags. They apologized for the Ravens for the loss to the Jags, saying that last play should not have counted. The Jags, they completed a pass inbounds with no timeout left with like 5 seconds. Somehow got the line and called hike, which they weren't set at all. It was clear they weren't set. They let the play go, and Bortles immediately falls after taking the snap. I don't know. Did you see his game at all? Either of you two?
No, I missed all this.
Bortles falls after taking the snap, so he's on the ground. The line's not even moving. The running back wasn't even blocking because everybody just either wasn't off in time, and he fell to the ground. So Doomerville from the Ravens comes around, and they're like midfield, mind you. And instead of just tackling, which the guy's he's getting up off the ground, he rips him by his face mask to the ground.
I gotta see that.
So obviously, get an untimed down, 15 yards, put him up to the 35-yard line, boots a field goal, game-winning field goal, and they lose. And then the Jags won, the Ravens lost. All he had to do was just literally just push the guy down to the ground. But he went for the face mask. So he blew the game. But in fairness, it shouldn't have ever happened. Aaron Rodgers, he's not a fan of prejudicial catcalling. As you know, the NFL did moment of silence for the tragedies in Paris. So of course during the Green Bay one, and they when I was watching the NFL the Red Zone, they only showed one of the moment of silence, and it was actually the Eagles game they showed, and it was good. I'm proud of Philadelphia. Yeah, we stayed quiet. We were good. Not in Green Bay. As everyone is quiet during a moment of silence, some knucklehead decides to scream out top of his lungs, "Muslims suck." And Rodgers is not a fan of that. He actually in a post-game interview, he said he was just appalled by that. He said it's classless, and it was. I mean, come on, it's a moment of silence. I don't care what you think. You gotta shut up. Panthers defensive end Charles Johnson. He's currently on the IR. He's designated to return. But the Panthers had a game at the Titans on Sunday. He didn't get comp tickets because he's not on a team. Technically, he is, he's not. And it was a road game. So he drove to the stadium and he had to buy tickets and he watched in the stands by himself. I don't know. He couldn't get any comp tickets despite the fact that he is playing. His team is playing. I don't know why he was in the stands. Why couldn't he just go
walk through
why couldn't he just go with the team entrance? I didn't understand it. And apparently this is not the first time he's done this. When the team traveled to Seattle, he did the same thing. He had to buy tickets. He had to fly himself out there. Couldn't get on the team jet.
Wow. I
didn't know the rules on what happens when you're in the IR. I thought you're still part of the team at least.
Yeah, but I don't know. It all depends. If you're the rules, I know it's crazy.
He's not allowed to practice with them at all. But I don't know. It's the fact that he's buying his own tickets.
He's in the stands. Makes good news.
Okay.
Good press.
Georgia, this is college football now. Georgia defensive back Rico McGraw had to leave the game Saturday. After making a good play, came back to the sidelines. Coach gave him a little celebratory head smack. Knocked him woozy. He had to leave the game for concussion protocol. I know sometimes these celebrations get a little heated on the sideline. But
coach, man, that's the guy.
Smacked. They had the video.
The guy when coaching my team,
and he smacked him hard as hell too. And you see the guy, his neck snaps back, and he falls to the ground.
It's a good play.
Made
a good play. That's all right.
He's attacking a student, so they should throw him in jail. I don't know if you guys watched last Thursday's game, the Jets-Bills game. Yep. You guys probably saw in full color. A lot of people didn't.
Yeah, what was that?
And they were not happy about it. Apparently, colorblind fans took to social media to blame the NFL, of course, for not being able to tell the difference between the jerseys. Now, call me insensitive.
I heard that's time.
You're colorblind, and you're mad that you couldn't see colors. So it's the NFL's fault for making them wear these jerseys. What? How? What? Blame your DNA.
I think it's funny. I think it makes a good story, but to actually be mad,
they were genuinely mad.
I see. I could see their
and then websites were sharing a story like NFL really dropped the ball at this one.
I don't get how
that's the color of their teams. Yeah, what the hell do you want them to do?
Exactly. I mean, because it was the red and green, right?
It was the red and green.
Yeah, the
red green colorblind people were having a fit. I'm like, well, Christmas must suck for you guys.
I'm not allowed to talk about Christmas.
So you're right. So the holidays must suck for you guys.
There you go. The holidays must suck.
Talk about anything you want on this show. Christmas,
obviously, we know that.
That was sarcasm. If you couldn't smell it all the way over there, sorry.
Whatever.
But I don't understand why.
Sports show.
I was losing my mind because people were genuinely pissed off. I'm like, you can't see colors.
No,
of course you can't see colors. It's not the NFL's fault for that.
And if it wasn't,
I love those uniforms. I don't know if you saw them.
It was neat.
Yeah,
they're doing it again this week.
Just get the numbers right. That's all you have to do. You know what number is? You know what player you're watching.
That's what I'm saying. Are you listening to the game on mute?
I love this.
Or you know watching the game on mute?
Flashback 60 years. It was black and white TV.
I know.
So
we'll blame the NFL for that too.
It was the NFL's fault that didn't.
But if you're, last thing I'm going to say is, if you're watching the game, you don't need to see the colors. They're saying Jets have the ball. He drops back. Fitzpatrick drops back. Well, I think the guy running this way is probably a Jet then. I don't know. I don't get it. I just everyone gets mad at everything. I can't take it anymore.
I'm offended. I'm offended by all.
Everyone's offended. The NFL was offended by this one. NFL, this wasn't this week, it was a week prior. They ran their salute to service. I don't know if you saw a lot of camo. They're still doing it again this week as well. But everyone's wearing camo, everything. Well, Josh Norman, corner for the Panthers, he wore camo, red, white, and blue cleats during that a salute to service. He was fined by the NFL, $5,000.
He broke the rules, man.
Yes, he was wearing red, white, and blue camo while they're saluting the American Armed Services. That's the NFL.
You can't do that.
That's the NFL. I love it.
I'll play. You know what? Let's take up a collection for this guy. Pay that for him.
Yeah. Maybe give a little bit to me too as well. The U.S. soccer officially they ban head balls for kids under the age of 11 years old. You cannot do it anymore in games.
Concussions.
Yeah, exactly what it's for. Trying to start it early, I guess.
Well, I never played soccer.
No, this isn't. They said it's not for you.
You never played soccer?
That's what I just said. I never played soccer, so
I can definitely see that.
I never played a league. I mean, never played like controller.
Never played sports.
I played in high school and all, but I never, never played in organized soccer.
You never played for a local youth organization, nothing like that.
I was a baseball player. I didn't play.
Did you play? All right. Did you play organized baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, organized everything. Right on down the line. I'm an athlete, man. Are you kidding me? Throw a ball 50 yards, no problem.
Can you kick a ball?
I'm going to find out.
We're going to
set me up, man. We're going to start at the 20-yard line. So I can punt a ball.
I don't care if you can punt. Everyone can punt a ball. Could you kick a 25-yard field goal?
I don't know. I don't know if I can get it up quick enough like that.
Take a little Viagra.
That was nice.
To go.
No.
Sorry.
Set yourself up for that one. I'm sorry.
I have kicked a 20-yard field goal. I've kicked, but I can't do it consistently. I mean,
Well, you don't do it. This is your job. You
got to do it once.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's.
If we give you 3 tries, can you kick a 25-yard field goal?
I think I can. I can get 25
right,
field goal.
We're gonna put him to that.
Yeah,
I think
we're gonna put him out there. I hope you guys could. I could get 35-yarder.
I mean,
you actually used to kick, right?
Yeah, when I was younger.
Here's the thing. I know the technique. It's just
40 pounds ago.
It's the same thing as my golf swing. I kind of lift my head up before I make impact, which becomes a problem. Sometimes I get those whistler balls that go out like this to the side like that. The spinners.
I've never even tried it.
I have.
We're gonna
my life.
All right, we're gonna take us to the field and try this one. I want to see you try that. It'd be hilarious. And finally, the Washington Nationals put out the 2016 team calendar, featuring right on the cover a picture of Fenway Park. Nobody knows why.
Washington Nationals?
Nobody knows why. The team has said they didn't catch it.
OMG.
Nobody knows why. So that's Washington Nationals for you in a nutshell. They blow it even in their marketing department. And that is this.
Very good. Very good.
As always.
Tasty. Well, got anything else going on?
No, just I have a severe interest in you watching you kick field goals.
Kick field goals. All right, we'll set it up next week.
We'll give you 3 shots.
We'll set it up. We'll before the heavy snow gets here.
Oh, yo,
I don't
one thing.
While
Well, it's still 70 degrees.
Yeah, right. Well, lately the weather around here. I mean, today it's November 16th.
It's beautiful
70 degrees out. It's like a golf day. It's like I'm standing outside. I'm like, what's going on around here? I mean, this is it's out of control. There's just is no more fall in our territory up here.
Yeah.
In the east anymore. It's going to go in 2 days. It'll probably be down to 30 degrees.
9 inches of snow.
Yeah, and it's nuts, man. It's I don't know if it's global warming or it's it's Charlie Sheen and his HIV.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
tainted tiger's blood, right?
Here's a guy. Here's a guy who's, whose whole career has been hookers.
Yeah.
And people are surprised.
Imagine the amount of people he's infected.
I thought he
5,000.
That's what he said. He infected 5,000 people.
No, like he's had sex with 5,000.
I don't know if
people.
I don't think he's kept. First of all,
there may be some objects and animals thrown in there.
Will Chamberlain had that beat, man. Will Chamberlain was like 10.
Yeah, he was like 10,000,
100,000 or something like that. Anyway, and whenever they round it off to the nearest number like that, it's half his bullshit anyway. But for him, I don't know if it's true or not. or could be just another. Charlie Sheen's been out of the news for a while.
Yeah,
and usually when he gets back into it, it's usually something funky.
Common, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he has it, gets it, he doesn't have blah 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 whatever. He don't look too healthy, And TMZ's reported, TMZ, they don't report.
Oh, so it's got to be true,
then,
right?
It's true, Yeah. So poor Charlie 3, he ain't winning no more, but he was good. He was funny in his time, man. The last few years, some chaotic stuff he was doing, man.
Just doing quick math, by the way. Let's just say he slept with a very classy lady every other day.
Yeah.
If he slept with one every other day,
right.
He would have had to do that in 1.5 years.
Yeah, and he's 44 years old. No, I mean, he's 50.
He's probably 50.
He's 50. Same age. Yeah. No,
I just thought that's a tough.
You could take out like 5 in a weekend in group therapy.
That's a tough piece.
Well, Chuck, he had a couple threesomes there, man. He wasn't playing.
I know that.
He was.
That's still a tough pace. It's a tough pace.
Yeah. Well, it's good news. it's up there. It's it's every now and then you need to have something out there. I mean, will it trump the bombing of ISIS? I don't think so. But it's if Sheen's putting this out now, it's stupid because it's not going to have the the legs like it would if nothing was going on right now. Yeah. But this is what he does, and if it's true or not, I saw two ends. One where I saw one article where it's not true and he's cleared, and another one said he definitely has it. Whatever. Yeah. But it's HIV VIH. It's not
knowing
AIDS.
Knowing him, he'll post the results of his tests on Twitter or something.
But the interesting thing about this is that this type of thing isn't really been out there lately. Nobody's talking about nobody, no stars or any celebrities have had any kind of like even mentioning this out there.
I think the last one was Arsenio Hall when he was on The Apprentice because he was doing it for Tragic's thing for his foundation. That's what he was playing for.
Had it.
No, he's good friends with
I know. That's back. That's 91, man. That's
I'm talking like a year or two ago. He just won the Celebrity Apprentice last year.
Tragic doesn't have AIDS. That was all ploy. Tragic's fun. Look at him, man. The guy's a wall. Come on. Well, no offense, buddy.
It's not a wall.
Before we go, I just want to throw out we're having a fundraiser at Steam here for Prayers for Mary. It's starts at next Sunday, 2:00 to 6:00, $35 a ticket. Proceeds go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Lymphoma Society. Yeah, it's one of those words. Down, it's one of those words I just can't say. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
it's nice.
So, boys, as usual, Cashy King got the chef over there to my way left. Got Mikey the Wall.
Joe Wednesday.
Absolutely, man. If you're not listening to the fantasy show, it means your team is doing real bad.
9-1.
9-1. It looks like I'm gonna go 8-2 tonight. I'm going to go 8-2 and win tonight and go 8-2. My league doesn't really matter at this point. Blowing out the rest of these guys. Join us next Monday night for the Sports Goombahs. Cash King, I'm out of here.
Go Clemson.